like a lot of people said, instead of a virtual meeting, having a physical meeting, spaced out and maintaining the sort of decorum which is required not only for COVID, but for a lot of other infectious diseases. I just mentioned that panic is not the answer. Public health preparedness does not count on panic. It looks at countering panic as one of the first steps whenever we have an outbreak. It's not just about an infection like COVID. Just about 10 months ago, you had a blast in the LG factory in Visakhapatnam. We had the blast in Chernobyl. We had the Union Carbide event which happened in Bhopal. So it's not just an infection. Panic can be caused by many other things. So we have to be prepared. The difference with an infection, which is mainly respiratory in transmission, is that the speed at which it can infect people all around. And the story is the same, whether it is the new novel coronavirus, or whether it is MERS or SARS or influenza. The story is exactly the same. And whatever public health measures have been utilized for the COVID pandemic have actually been used for influenza in the past, for SARS in the past, for MERS, which is the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, because all of them had very similar trajectories. And therefore, the preparedness helps us not just for one condition, but it helps us for a host of other conditions. What we have also learned over the last 9 months is that by using something like a mask, New Zealand and Australia have seen influenza cases dropping by 90%. One of the biggest killers across Europe, across the US, and across Australia and New Zealand is influenza, specifically people above the age of 50, more so if you are elderly and above the age of 70, or if you have comorbidities like diabetes, then the risk of dying from influenza was one of the highest that we see in relation to infections. But there has been a 90% decrease in influenza by just using a mask, not talking about the influenza vaccine. And that is why one of the important public health measures is to keep yourself safe, keep people in your family safe, people in your neighborhood safe by using measures like masking yourself. You may look like a bandit, doesn't make a difference. Better than a bandit than a dead body. So let's look at it from a positive way, that not only does it have an impact on the coronavirus, but it impacts on a lot of respiratory infections, which over the next 3 months in this country, with the winter setting in, especially in the northern part of the country, is actually going to be a major catastrophe if people do not look at measures to prevent the spread of respiratory illnesses. The other good thing that has also happened, though it takes a much longer time to be reflected, is tuberculosis, which is one of the biggest killers in our population, again an infectious disease. There are already trends to indicate that the new infections with tuberculosis have shown a decline globally over the last 5-6 months. So there are some good points also that we have to keep in mind, and the best point is how do we protect ourselves using very simple measures. Modelers have shown that if you use a mask, 80% of the metro travelers in New York City could be prevented from getting infected. There is plenty of evidence. Let's not forget the hard work that has gone into developing, generating that evidence, and making sense of that. If we do not use this sensible information, then I think we deserve to be like some of the politicians in the American continent today.